Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on Hgher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks for your Monday morning mindfulness sessions on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, ZeldaSpeaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on Hgher Learning with ZeldaSpeaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
Hi, my name is Julie Myresta. I'm with the American Heart Association, and we have been up to our ears in sweetened beverage tax, so I so much appreciated the 5-minute meditation today that allowed me to get back to my center, take a few deep breaths, and really focus on what's important.
Shalom and good God morning. And thank you for joining me today on blogtalkradio.com, The Female Solution. It's your Monday morning mindfulness with ZeldaSpeaks. Mindfulness stress release coach. I'm just here to make your day better.
In regards to the meditation that we did after the Philanthropy Club meeting, it was great because it gave me such a feeling of relief, and the softness of Zelda's voice made me slow down and take pace at what I was doing. Kind of made me concentrate on my breathing. So it was just such an asset to have that portion of our meeting. I don't think you get that quite at every meeting. It was just such an asset. Thanks.
Let's go to the phone line and get some more calls. Area code 111-901. We see you. We'll take your call shortly. Right now, we're going to go to the phone lines. 314-381. You're live on The Female Solution. Grand Rising, what's your name, your comment? Where are you calling from? 314.
You guys got a lovely conversation today.
Brother Pianka. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
All right.
That's pretty close.
Okay.
No, but I am very grateful for having the opportunity to have grown up in the United States, where I have been able to raise families and enjoy all the things that this country has. Very proud of the, I'm so business minded. I'm very proud of the businesses that blacks have created in this country. If you look at the Black Enterprise Top 100, you have multi-billion-dollar companies from everything from technology down to the automobile industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're utilized as great as they could. You have Stephen Hightower with Hightower Petroleum Company, where he refines oil into petroleum products, gasoline, diesel fuel, aircraft, aviation fuel. And that's a near source there right there in the Midwest that could be used to fuel gas marts. Provide fuel for airlines, provide fuel for fleet, for school buses. You got black shipping companies down in the Gulf that run tugboat companies that help bring a big ocean.
You want to make that? Are you just trying to make a point or what?
Yes, I'm making a point why I love the United States.
Okay.
And I celebrate the 4th of July.
I mean, I understand. I can understand you saying you love the United States, but that doesn't change the fact that that independence and the celebration of independence is not.
Absolutely. That's why I come and celebrate in my own way the celebration of the independence of this nation, knowing the wars that this country has fought in order to maintain, to establish and maintain that independence. I appreciate all the blacks that have participated in all those wars, from the Indian Wars on down to what we've seen in the Gulf. Those who lead militaries and so on and so on. So, and another thing that I appreciate in the United States is that you have the ability to choose who you want to align with. And also to reject those.
You have that ability to the extent that you are exposed to information. What you are exposed to, and how, the fundamental problem is miseducation.
Yeah, absolutely right. I hear a lot of it going on. I'm about ready to get off, sir.
Well, I mean, I understand, but
I understand, but let me finish, please, and I can get out of here. But you're absolutely right. The information is available. It's available more so than any other time. That's another thing why I celebrate. You have the ability to establish whatever type of education system you want for your children in your school district. Your state constitution allows you.
The point I'm trying to make is that the deliberate omission of history, significant history about the history of the world, is not by accident.
Let me get a point to you, sir.
I'm trying to get a point to you.
Well, I'm the guest calling in on the show, then y'all can have the rest of it if you don't mind. But the thing is that if you look at your state statutes, and you know another thing, blacks don't seem to get along together when somebody don't agree with her. But your state statutes allow you, a school district, the parents, the people of that school district, to have whatever you want in your schools to teach your children, from the curriculum, books, and instructional material. And that's written down.
From my understanding, sir, the curriculum is not set up according to what's the true history.
That's the reason. It's the reason that the people have the ability to do that. It's like,
but somebody is right.
Why do we have to argue? I don't want to go back.
I'm just pointing out. I'm just talking about
how great it is. You have time to do that.
Can I respond to you, sir? No, I'm not going to say.
I want to say one more thing, and I'm going to hang up.
No, sir. I want to respond to what you just did.
You have plenty of time, sir. It's her show. You're the guest of the show. I'm going to call in.
But, sir,
I'm on a minute.
Call in. No, you call in.
I want to make a comment about now. Why I just went back and forth arguing with you, and we see that also in society, how you have this back and forth, especially with your organization.
You're not listening. You just want to talk, but you don't want to listen. You don't want anybody to respond. I'm trying to respond to what you said. What you said was that we got all these great people that we have opportunities to participate in the curriculum. But whoever is setting the curriculum right now has deliberately lied about the history of the world. He has deliberately slanted the history of the world in order to perpetuate a certain ideal. And that ideal is undermining our humanity because it does not give due credit to other historical realities that have been completely omitted or completely lied about in the historical record that we have been given in our educational system. And that is a problem. That is the reason why we have so little real independence among the majority of the people.
And I am so very glad that this conversation is lively, and it is exactly the reason why I am an advocate of the show that I heard on last night, the Institute for Self-Mastery. In order to master our destiny, we must know our history, and we must teach our children our history. And in order to do that, it's going to have to be homeschooled because it's not in the institution of the public educational system. That's why I'm an advocate for ISM, homeschool.org. That's the Institute for Self-Mastery. ISMhomeschool.org. As we go to the phone lines and take another call. Brother Haaque, thank you so much for calling in and having this lively discussion this morning as we go to the phone lines. Area code 901-644. You are live on the Female Solution Grand Rising. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your comment on the issue of celebrating Independence Day? In the background. Let's go to our next caller. Area code 111-1111. You're live on the Female Solution Grand Rising. What's your name? What's your comment? Where are you calling from?
How you doing, Bill?
I'm wonderful. Who's this? Thank you for calling.
Oh, this is Obadiah, your friend from college days in Columbia.
Oh, welcome. Thank you so much for calling this morning.
Back in the days with talent. You had talent back in the days before you even get here.
Okay.
I'm not even the last that you're where you are, you know.
All right.
You had it then, you know.
Yes, sir.
You take the program, showing everything. I just got this one thing to say because I appreciate the banner between the brother and Bianchi. But here's the deal, sister. First of all, we all know all that stuff. They don't give you no history or none of that. What is your excuse? You need to go get basics such as reading and writing, and hopefully you can learn how to read and write more than one language, because I can. But the point is, do for self. Come off what they don't teach you. That's never going to give you what you need in the school system.
No.
They didn't teach me to write. You know what I did when I got to college? I went up there in the library and started stealing reference books so I could learn more, because they would let you take the reference books out the library. So I would take them out A to Z one at a time until I had read everything.
Wow.
Depending on other people to direct you. What's your problem? Why are you listening to all this stuff on TV and stuff? Don't you have an inner voice? Let's start there. Go with yourself. Stop listening to all these other people tell you how you can do this. In that last conference between you and Bianchi's right. He's taken everything that America gave him and he's used it. He hasn't sat around making, I can't have this because he just done moved on it. That's what you have to do. By the time you listen to everybody telling you what you can't do, you could have done it 10 times. Fail 20 times and have succeeded. Because you're going to fail sometimes, but to get better and tweak the idea. So stop depending on other people to teach your children.
Amen.
Stop depending on it because they're not going to give you that information. I've been around almost 7 years. I've gotten everything I needed, not from any book or anybody. Start within yourself. Dig deep. Cut out everybody. Cut out the electronica. Start with just breathing and listening to yourself. Go somewhere quiet. Start breathing. You need the breath of air. Why do you think they try to make us put on masks?
All right now.
You need breath.
Okay.
Because if you ain't got breath, money ain't going to make no difference, sister. It ain't about the money. You can think of money. That ain't nothing. Get away from chasing money, because once you start chasing money, You're not chasing what the Most High wants you to have.
Thank
He
you.
wants you to have the wisdom and the understanding and the knowledge. You need those things, not money, fame, and fortune, and how cute you are. Y'all got all the things wrong. So take tradition and throw it out. We in a new paradigm. We need new stuff. We need basics. Go within. Dig deep. Breathe. Find out who you are. Go to the center of you. Then you'll find out who you are, where you came from, and what your purpose is. And when you step out, you'll be the only one that has it.
All right now.
Because you have it from the center of your nature. Go there, y'all. Go within yourself. Stop depending on outer sources for information when all the answers are inside of you, right?
All right. You hit the nail on the head.
Go there, and then get you some air and get you some water, because your body's 80% water, and then get you some nature. Go outside, cut that television off.
Amen. Turn that TV off. Go ahead, Lionel, because it's 8:57, and we want you to have the last word as we close out this portion of the show. Go ahead.
Basically, I just think it's important for us to understand that our problems are not by accident, it's by design. And there are people who are in positions of power who are exercising that power to undermine human development. And we have to address that. The problems that we have are the result of people's willful, deliberate efforts to miseducate most of us. And we have to attack that and change it and produce a better form of education for our society.
I agree wholeheartedly. And that's the only way it's going to happen, is that we make it happen. We've got to turn off and tune in. That is the only way it's going to happen. It's 8:58. And Brother Lionel Abdul Haaque, you want to give contact information? I see other calls. We'll take your calls before we are off the air. But Lionel, you want to give your contact information?
Yes, 773-642-1453. I'm still working on developing a website and email and all that stuff. It's a process for me. It's kind of thorough, but I'm still working on it. But I prefer to talk to people, so give me a call if you have any questions or comments that you would like to share. 773-642-1453.
Yes, and we will talk after this, because I've got some updates for you, Lionel, as far as your website is concerned and things of that nature. So thank you very, very much for joining the conversation this morning. At area code 773-366, you're live on the air. What's your name? Where you calling from?
And this is Naima Latif, and looking forward to talking to your listening and doing our music. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you, and the mercy of God, and God's blessings.
All right, that's the voice of our executive producer, Dr. Naima Latif of the Female Solution, and she is on the line joining us this morning right now. Thank you so much, Naima, for joining us this morning, Grand Rising Queen. I saw your comment on Facebook. Thank you so very much for that. I'm glad you enjoyed the breathing exercise, because right now I'm breathing through the sweat. I'm sweating bullets, and I am loving it. As my husband stands over here making faces at me, because I'm sweating like a stuck pig, but I'm loving it, because baby, in about 3-4 months, I'm gonna wish I could sweat like this. So you get no complaints here, honey. None whatsoever. I just want to say, Naima, it is a pleasure and a privilege to be on this platform, a think tank for those who
are getting out of under conditioning of mass media and participating with on a platform that is helping enlighten, awaken the masses, because people are waking up, and I'm so happy to see that, because we have been locked down, closed down, and quarantined in our own minds because we have allowed the so-called powers to be to that we recognize as the officials in our lives, when we've got the connection to the source. So why are we going through secondhand to get information when all we have to do is get quiet and listen to the inner voice? That information is there. So why are we still doing this?
Conditioning, as you said, conditioning. We've been conditioned since childbirth by people who didn't know any better. But this is, as you said, a time of awakening. And we are realizing that we have always had the power in our hands to create the kind of society we want to live in. We're realizing that there is no all-powerful person in charge of us that we have to obey. We're realizing that we are all the same in terms of our equal ability to make our own decisions and to do for ourselves. But we have been conditioned over generations to a state of dependency. And we keep thinking we have to get someone else to like us or to provide for us or to allow us to do something. We kept thinking that because of conditioning. If someone beats something into you long enough, then they can make you believe it. And we have had periods in our history where we've been beaten into submission. And so the parents who raised us were part of that generation that had been beaten into submission through unjust laws and unjust jailings and social ostracization and all of those things. But they slowly came out of it, and it was a struggle. And so it does help, as your guests have said and your callers have said, it does help to know what happened so we can understand why we are at the position we're in today. But we can't get stuck there. We can't keep going backwards if we want to go forward. We need to understand what happened so we don't recreate the same mistakes. But we also can't keep focusing on our anger about it and vengeance for it, because if we do, then we can't look forward and see the power that's in our hands today to create the things we need to become what we have always had the power to become.
And it's been, as I hate to use this analogy, but from the Wizard of Oz, it's been there all the time. It's been there all the time. And you just didn't know how to tap into it. You didn't know how to click those heels. Well, you don't have to click the heels.
You had the power all the time.
It
but you had
just
to go
didn't.
through some things
Yes.
for you to realize it.
Yes.
So we had to go through things in order for us to realize we had the power all the time.
All the
So the
time.
wonderful thing about these times is that now that we're realizing there really isn't anything stopping us from creating a different government than the one we have, from creating a different economic system than what we have. And as you pointed out, the wonderful people on Viada's show yesterday, we have always had the power to create the educational system that we want to have.
Yes.
We just have to decide to do it. And I love the fact that her guest yesterday has made it possible for people to teach at home and teach things that are liberating the minds of our children.
Yes. And I look at the fact that how this generation of children, they don't know they are benefiting so much more from what's going on in this world as far as technology and learning, because now they will learn the truth and they will take that truth and they will run with it. And they will take this to a whole new level. So I am at least, that's why I love being old. Call me old. I love it. Because I see things now with a third eye that I cannot see with these two eyeballs, these sockets sitting in my head. I see things. I feel things. And I am so grateful to be a part, to see the change that needs to be done, it is finally happening. And as Brother Lionel said, it may be happening in small increments, but it is happening. We are waking up. We are waking up. I think two of the most powerful words on the planet besides I am is I'm awoke. I'm awakening.
That's right. That's right. I see. That is definitely a declaration of power. And as your show today demonstrates, we are now connected as one global family.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to worry about fearing the people overseas. We can talk directly to them.
Yes.
We can find out the common experiences that we have had. So this is so empowering. And now we have, as you pointed out, a generation of young people. They're going to see the world differently because they have traveled. They have traveled either physically or they've traveled through the internet, and they have seen the world. And so they don't have the fear that perhaps we or our parents have had of other people and other cultures and other languages. Our children are multilingual. They are well-traveled. They are well-educated. And they're innovative. They're not afraid to create something different than what we have. This is why we're seeing new economic systems emerge that are independent of our current systems and are empowering of the people because it's a different mindset. The goal isn't for me to get everything and get all your stuff too. The goal is for us to share so that everyone has, so that no one has to steal, no one has to suffer. We're all operating as a collective, and that is the ultimate evolution of consciousness. And I want to address a conversation that your guest and one of the callers had earlier, and it reminds me of the story of a man who was swimming in the lake, and of course they had lifeguards around the beach and so forth, and he went out a little far and he felt the current started to pull him under, and he was flailing his arms and legs and trying to holler help, but the lifeguard didn't see him, but there was this other young girl who was looking, and she saw that he was waving his arms and frantic, and she was a good swimmer, so she ran over and kicked off her shoes and ran over and dove in and swam over, and then she pulled him out of the water, and people were watching this act of heroism. They were cheering, and then someone called the news media and said, a man just got saved from drowning. So the news cameras came, and they said, well, where's the lifeguard? Where's the lifeguard? And his lifeguard, he's sitting up on his lifeguard chair, and they ran over him and said, tell us about the man who got pulled out of the water and you saved. And he said, oh, well, I don't know over there. The man is over there. So here the man is, and so the news media, the news reporter went over to him with the microphone sticking in his face and said, tell us how the lifeguard saved you. And so, the man put his arm around the little girl and said, oh, this woman, she came to my rescue. If it wasn't for her, I would have died. And so, the lifeguard, he comes walking over and said, wait a minute, she's not the lifeguard. Why are you praising her? And we said, well, I don't know who she is. I didn't know she put me.
And thank you, the viewer, for watching. And we'll see you Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on the Hgher Learning Network with who other than
Snoop Dogg. And you better get your education on, because ain't nothing like education. The more you know, the more you go. Understand that. Because if you knew better, you do better. I wouldn't be nothing without education. So remember this, Hgher Learning. Get you some education.